Hello again. How you doing, guys? Welcome back. Today is a session of Dreamtime with Danielle. Guest dream. Okay, today I have a guest dream sent in. Oh, thank you, Ray. Let's begin, shall we? Last night I dreamed that I was supposed to be in the mall with two guy friends and my mom. But instead, I was in an 18-wheeler truck with King Arthur because he said I was suspected for treason and that I had to stay there until the knights arrived. But my mom was texting me mad saying, "Where are you?" But King Arthur wouldn't let me respond. But eventually, I got to the mall and one of my guy friend's hair slowly started to go gray. And I remember feeling really embarrassed to have them around. And that's the dream. Okay, I would like to share that this dream was shared with me prior to January 6th, 2021, prior to legitimate treason being flagrantly disregarded by some communities. So we're not going to add that to our interpretation. Does not count. Cool. Let's begin! Well, first, let's ask, what does a mall represent? Commerce. So it's like a shopping center. There's diversity. You can get a whole range of different types of goods at a mall. You can go there for a good time. You can go there to work. You can go there looking for a specific thing, a quest. Or you can be going to the mall just to hang out, to socialize. I remember that. You guys remember that? Socializing? Where was I? So whenever I share someone's dream, I always ask you, as the dreamer, as the viewer, what does a mall mean to you? All right, now we've got an 18-wheeler truck. Let's do this. Boom. Okay, so here we have an 18-wheeler truck, which is a big old vehicle. I don't know if you drive. I also don't know who's watching this right now. So let's say you do drive and you've been on the highway before. You know what it feels like driving next to one of these guys, right? Okay, I know there's enough room for both of us, but I'm just gonna get out of here. At least I know that's how I feel. Oh, like when you're sandwiched between two 18-wheeler vehicles, it's just like you're a tiny mouse on a highway and they're giants. So they're very big and they're very intimidating. Even if you're not a driver who's intimidated, you are the exception. So, what could possibly an 18-wheeler truck symbolize? Well, one, cargo, right? They're always carrying something. They're transporting something of value. That's the only reason they're on the road. Or they're coming from a place of transporting something. I guess they could be empty. They have to return their truck somewhere, right? This is implying you're carrying a big heavy load and you're carrying it a great distance. 18-wheeler trucks can go like point A to point B. Could be 1,000 miles. And then we have King Arthur. King Arthur. Specifically, King Arthur from the show Merlin, as played by Bradley James. Let's just get a picture of him, shall we? So debonair. Does this look like your King Arthur? Were you being held hostage by them cheekbones, though? Okay, enough distractions. I'll see you later. Nope, sorry, I got distracted. I looked into those piercing blue eyes and those laser-cut cheekbones. And oh yeah, 18-wheeler. Okay, so you're being held hostage by this hunk. And hey, maybe he's not your type. Again, I don't know who's watching this, but King Arthur has a lot of symbolism. And specifically, this version of King Arthur is the young King Arthur. It's kind of before he's wise and learned. He is egotistical. He is a bit of a prat. Let's define prat. It means he's an asshole. A prat. An incompetent, stupid, or foolish person. An idiot. Option 2, a person's buttocks. An ass. Alright, so she's being held hostage by a handsome asshole who happens to have a crown. But let's face it, when you're a king, that means you have a lot of power. In fact, you hold all the power. So there's someone of power holding you hostage on this long journey. Now, when it comes to journeys in dreams, obviously, it may not mean a physical journey, but that doesn't mean you have to rule it out. It could mean a spiritual journey, it could be an emotional journey, it could be levels of growth, you know, your own character development. So he's holding her hostage, and he is accusing her of treason. Girl, was this dream prophetic or what? Oh my God, wait, no, that has horrible implications. I'm sorry. Rewind. It's kind of hard to talk about a dream with treason after the whole country's in treasonous hellfire. Let's define treason. A crime of betraying one's country, especially by threatening to kill the sovereignty. Help us. Or overthrow the government. That one was more like a louder for the people in the back. Sedition. Okay, so this is the long and short of it. Treason is an act of betrayal. So, here my dreamer is hostage in this 18-wheeler vehicle. Woo, that was a mouthful. In this 18-wheeler vehicle, which is a dangerous vehicle to have on the road. Especially, who's driving? Oh, should have asked. Were you driving? Was he driving? Well, think about that. Who was behind the wheel? I'm going to assume he was driving. No, never assume. Let's presume. What's the difference between assuming and presuming? Bah! We're looking it up. To presume. Suppose that something is the case on the basis of probability. Okay, so let's presume that King Arthur is driving. He's the king, he's behind the wheel, all right. So, your sovereignty. Where does your sovereignty lie as a person? Because this is your dream. This is about you. The dream is always about the dreamer. That means you are this 18-wheeler truck. That means there's a tremendous force behind you, and you have quite a ways to go. And probably the place that you want to end up seems a long way away. The cargo you are carrying could be emotional weight, it could be the burden of the people you feel responsible for, or it could be your own emotions about where you're going. Then you have King Arthur holding you in this journey on account of treason. So betrayal. What types of betrayals have happened in your life? Or has there been, perhaps, and this is personal, has there been a personal betrayal? Perhaps you have felt caught between, as they say, a rock and a hard place, where there's no way to make everybody happy. Someone will end up getting hurt, no matter what the choice to be made is. Betrayal is hard, and being human is hard. Honestly, as humans, there will be a point in time where we are betrayed, and there will be a point in time where we end up betraying people. The circumstances obviously influence the emotion behind that. But it's a rough human emotion. It's character development. Now, I'm not saying you have betrayed anyone, but you're being accused by a sovereign. And honestly, sovereignty comes back to the heart. So now we're going to bring this into an emotional core. Your emotional core is your heart. Your heart holds your inner truth, your higher self, everything that you yearn for, desire, want to be, want to give to the world. The truth of who you are. In fact, the truth of all of who we are is here. The very first organ to form. It is thought of that all of the thinking happens in the brain. But the brain is really just the battery that stores the programming. Our hearts think. Our hearts have intuition and inner knowing. And we can have conversations with our heart. It's highly recommended. It's like a meditation. I'm sitting here telling you to do this, and you know what that means? I'm also sitting here telling me to do this too. Note to self, conversation with heart. Scheduled? Scheduled. Excellent. Let's move on. While all of this is happening, there are text messages coming in from your mother. So, moms. This is going to be contingent on what your relationship to your mom is like. But as mothers go, mothers have the position of the very first guardian, your true champion, one could say. Everyone has a different relationship with their mother. Some have great relationships, some do not. Your relationship with your mother is going to color what's happening. But she's mad, which means, uh-oh, we've disappointed mom. But perhaps she also knows something is wrong. And remember, everyone in the dream is you, so this is also you as your mother. So think about from her perspective, oh, where is my daughter? She's supposed to be here. Can't believe that she's not following up on her word. You know, whatever you think your mother would say, fill that in. That's sort of what's happening. But also she's worrying about you. So there's a sense of worry, there's a sense of fear, there's a sense of this runaway wagon. This is not a wagon. This is an 18-wheeler. Ooh, the number 18. Ooh. Okay, so you have a 1 and you have an 8. 1, the self, beginning, solitude, also putting yourself first. Sounds like a bad thing. It doesn't have to be. You have to put yourself first in circumstances where other people might not. Also, being number 1, being the best at something, right? There's a lot of meanings behind number 1. It's also the beginning, like the start of a new adventure. Then we have the number 8. 8 is an infinity sign. So 8s are about cycles. They're about tried and true methods. 8s are a step beyond higher learning. 8 is about putting your practice into effect. So when you combine a 1 and an 8, you get the number 9. And I'm sure you're asking, Danielle, why are you adding these numbers together? Because symbolism. When you add the numbers 1 and 8 together, you get a 9. And 9 has sort of the opposite energy of a 1, because this is the culmination of everything that you've done, all the things that you've been through. When you achieve number 9, you are on the precipice of something new. It's like you're about to jump into a whole new journey, a whole new life. 9 is the end of a cycle. It's about completion and leaving something behind even, which also makes sense with the 18-wheeler. I would also ask, in your life, do you know someone who drives an 18-wheeler? Do you see them often? Are you surrounded by them? These types of things are going to influence what the what the truck means to you. So, you're waiting for the guards to come. So guards, police, authority figures. People probably could represent like family members. When we are young, our family members are our guards and guardians. So it could be maybe people in your family offer a sense of control. Doesn't have to be though. It could be a metaphor. Something that you've done feels like there could be repercussions. Could also be, you know, rallying the troops. Maybe the guards are on your side. I don't know. Remember, they were the Knights of the Round Table, and the Round Table was significant because it's the first time in medieval history that we see any type of representation of equality beyond the status quo, which is ironic because they didn't actually stop with the status quo, did they? It's okay. It's a romantic tale about knights and chivalry. Knights! Then we can also think knight in shining armor. There could be some type of romance here, or alluding to maybe it feels threatening. I don't know. I'm thinking this out loud now. Eventually she gets away. She gets out of this, escapes, ends up at the mall. That's sort of like gaining control over your situation. It ran away with you for a while. Could represent fears or anxieties, you know. And then you're like, all right, I'm back in the driver's seat. Or where I'm supposed to be. At the mall. Mom, the ultimate authority figure. Ooh, also, turning 18. I mean, that is a status achievement in America. I mean, actually, in a lot of places in the world, turning 18 is a big deal. But 18 represents you're leaving childhood behind, you're stepping into your young adulthood, and what that means for you. Okay, so you've escaped the situation, you gain control over your life, and then you're at the mall, and one of your friends is going gray, and that's embarrassing for you. So going gray can represent aging, wisdom, maturity, but it can also represent a leaching of something. Youth is draining from the body. When we see gray hair, we immediately think of older other people because our biology is wired to recognize these differences. So it could be there's an embarrassment about an age, coming of age. Also, who does this friend represent to you? Are these real friends in your life, or are these dream friends that innately you know who they are, but they may not look like that person? Going gray. I like to think that I'll let myself go gray naturally. But not everyone feels that way. We're trained to dye our hair, to stay as youthful as possible for as long as possible because youth is treasured and coveted. And we tend to dismiss older people. We tend to not tell their stories, find them less interesting, less attractive, feel like they're getting behind the times. It makes me kind of sad, honestly. Go love your older loved ones, everyone. Be friends with an elderly person because they know stuff. They will have different ideas, but it's still worth a conversation, a chat. Too old to hang out with? Whoa, what about that? Do you feel like you're getting too old to hang out with this person? Do you feel like this person is getting too old to hang out with you? Perhaps ideas are changing between the two of you and it's embarrassing with what comes out of their mouth. These are all my thoughts and ideas, but remember, my thoughts and ideas are my opinions, and I hope they help you decipher this dream, or at least frame it in another light. Ultimately, only you, the dreamer, will know what this dream means to you. But I hope you had fun here today. Thank you for letting me share this dream. And Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper, wait! I meant Bradley James! Either way, thank you so much for submitting your dream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And this has been another session of Dreamtime with Danielle. Yeah! One other super important thing I think we need to discuss is your name. Rey. Rey means king. In Latin, in Spanish, I think also in Italian. In French, it's roi. But Rey, the king. You dreamt of King Arthur, and your very own name means king. Kingliness, sovereignty, inherited power. Also, divine right to rule. So remember, you are the divine sovereign of your own life. You are divinely chosen to rule your own life. So find where in your own life you feel in alignment with your choices, your actions, your decisions, and where you feel like, I don't feel like I'm being honest with myself, or I feel like I can do something that's going to work better for what I need. Meet your needs, girlfriend. That is all. Dreamtime with Danielle. Yeah.